Welcome to CED Mosebach's online video series. Today we're going to be navigating the Rockwell Automation Product Compatibility and Download Center. Okay, so some of the questions that we get pretty often from customers pertain to finding different download files, EDS files, firmware, downloading your Rockwell software online, comparing operating systems with different software versions. So in this video, we're just going to discuss where to find a lot of those files in the Product Compatibility and Download Center, or you may hear it referred to as the PCDC. So right now we're here at rockwellautomation.com on the home page. And if we just hover over support and go to compatibility and downloads, this is the page that we're talking about, the compatibility and downloads page. You can see there's a lot of different links on this page. We're not going to cover every single one of them. We're going to cover just the ones that we get asked about probably the most often. So that'll be, we'll check out the Find Downloads page, software by serial number. We'll get into the features and attributes, and we'll check a couple of these quick links down here. But let's start in the Find Downloads page. That's probably the most useful page that you're going to have, because really you can do everything through here. We'll look at the other quick links just, as though they're a little more direct to get to certain places. But if you're looking for, let's say EDS files, firmware files, add-on profiles, those are all the easiest to find here in the Find Downloads page. So, for example, if we'll just say you have a ControlLogix controller, let's just say it's an L81E that you want to find, firmware for, you can go here. You'll click on the catalog number that you want to view and then select a version. You can see there are multiple different versions here, pretty much every version it's compatible with. Once you select that, it'll pop over here, and if you click this little arrow on the right, that'll show you the items that are available for download for that controller. So for this one, we have a firmware and we have a Control Flash Plus tool that you could search this separately, but there's just a quick link to it there. So if I wanted to get the firmware file for this L81E, I would click it there. I would click my downloads cart. Now that's already checked if I go to download now. And then it's going to ask you to log in, and then you're just going to step through all the different steps to get to the download page. So you get the user agreement, and then it eventually will take you to manage download or direct download. It explains what these two download types are here. I always go with a managed download just in case for some reason your computer were to shut off halfway through the download. This will reboot the download automatically. Direct download is just going to download the files directly to your PC wherever you set it to go to. So we're not going to go through with the download, but this is just the steps you would take if you wanted to get that firmware. And then once you had that firmware, if you needed to flash the controller, you would go into Control Flash, and we have covered that in a previous video on the channel. So I'm just going to go back here to the Find Downloads page. That controller didn't have a lot of files to select from. If we were to go to, let's say, a PowerFlex 525 drive, we'll just click on 6.01 here. Now in here you can see there's a lot more to download. So you have your add-on profiles for the 525. There's a download for a CCW update, all sorts of database files, the EDS file, and your firmware. But the three that people are going to look for most often is going to be the firmware file and the EDS file and the add-on profiles for your Logix projects. So again, you can select all of those through here and go to your downloads cart, and you're going to see I still have the firmware for the L8 in there as well, but you're going to see now I have all these different download files that I can go through, and the steps will be the same from there to get all of those files. And as far as how to use those files, those have all been covered in previous videos. If you have any trouble finding those, obviously just let us know in the comments and we can link them to you. So that is the Find Downloads page. I mean, there's any number of things you can search in here. You can search software. So if I were to search this software and if I were to try to download that, it would route me to the software downloads by serial number page. And speaking of which, we're going to go back. I'm going to click this link here to go back to the Compatibility and Download Center. And since we're talking about that, we'll just click here on the software downloads by serial number. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have a serial number handy, but this is where you would go. If you have a serial number and a product key or your company name, any of this information here, you can enter your serial number, enter whatever the matching, if you buy new software, you're going to have the product key handy. Enter that here, and when you click next, that'll take you in to download your software. And again, you select a version of whatever software you're looking to download, and then the steps from there look pretty much the same once you go into that download link. But just know that that's the link that you would go to in order to download a software package with the serial number that you got. So moving on, one of the items we get asked about the most, especially in this day and age with all the changing operating systems and whatnot, is what software is compatible with what operating system and vice versa. So if we come into the features and attributes page, and there's a few different ways to look at this. This is just the way that I use, but you can also go under Find Downloads. When you search a certain catalog number, you can use the compare button in there as well. But for this video, I'm going to concentrate on the features and attributes page since we haven't been here yet. So if I search under this drop-down menu, if I pick operating systems, that's going to bring up a whole number of different operating systems. So let's say currently most people are somewhere in Windows 10. Myself, I'm in Windows 10 Professional. Windows 10 has all of these separate versions. If you needed to know the version that your PC is, you can just search About, and it's right here. So I have 1909. That's not in this list yet. They update this list as they really test out the operating system version. I personally haven't found much difference in the compatibility as you jump between versions, but just be aware that is a factor. So if I click on one of those Windows 10 Professional versions, which I clicked on version 1803 just because it had a lot of products there. So now I get a list of all the different products that I can search for under that operating system. And you can choose all of them, you can choose a few of them. So if I did Factory Talk Activation, I'll do Factory Talk Links, keeps bringing me up to the top of the page. And then I'll just search, we won't do Logix 5, we'll do 500. 5000 and Studio 5000 Logix Designer. That should be pretty good. And then I'll click View Products. So at the top here, you can see the compatibility with the other software packages. So it's just, you have your softwares that's selected on the left here and across the top. And then I can click these drop downs to change these versions. But to start, let's just keep it with the latest versions of each. So I can come down right here, I can expand these operating systems, and I'll expand Windows 10, and again, they're also right here, the ones that are currently selected. And you can see all these, you have green check marks, you got blanks, yellow exclamation marks. All of that is explained in this icon legend down here. So a green check mark is compatible, that is, it's been fully tested out, it's compatible, it's fully supported. Yellow exclamation mark is maybe compatible, which is there are cases where it is compatible. There may be some cases where there have been some issues, so it's supported, but there may be some compatibility issues that you run into. And then a blank means that there are no known issues or dependencies. You'll also see that with the gray circle, no known issues or dependencies, which means it's been tested out some. They don't know of any issues or dependencies, but that doesn't mean that there necessarily won't be any. So looking down through this, I don't have any red X's, which it means not compatible. Now, if I were to change, let's say, Logix 5000 back to version 15, it's going to update there. I'm going to get some X's there for my Logix 5000 and my Windows 10 operating systems. I end up with a lot of blanks there. And then the further you move back, you're either going to see more blanks or you're going to see more X's. And again, the blank cell issues that there are no, or indicates that there are no known issues or dependencies. So again, you can play with some of these. A lot of times you're not going to have this many items. And some of these in here are just items that weren't tested. Like I can tell you for sure that version 10 of RS Logix 5000 is not going to work on Windows 10, any 64-bit Windows 10 operating system. So these are blank, but that's most likely because they weren't tested, not because they don't know of any issues or dependencies, which is what it says down here. So a lot of times, you're gonna want to search for the green check mark, and if you search for this and you end up with a yellow exclamation mark or a red, a blank even, and you're not sure, if you were to come in and search version 15 for Windows 10 and it's just blank and you're not sure about that, just contact your local distributor, your account manager. We'll be able to get you a more concise answer on that a lot of the time. But that is very quick overview of this features and attribute page. If you are interested in this compatibility, I would recommend just coming in and playing around with it. There are a lot of different areas of this tool that you can use, but like the where we use it the most is comparing versions with each other or comparing versions with the operating system that you're using. So we're going to go back out to compatibilities and downloads. Just a few more items to wrap things up here. There is a quick links as well to add-on profiles. This is going to give you more of a list format though, less so than a search that you would have in the find downloads. So in my opinion, it's not as easy to find items in here as it is to find it in the find downloads. If you have something specific that you're looking for, you can come in, do a Control F, and just search in here for different items. Say you're looking for point.io. I searched 1734 for point.io, for example. Again, I prefer to use the find downloads page, but this is available if you want to use that. The quick links here to free downloads. These are all the items that I had already selected for my compare. But this will give you a link to all the free downloads that you can get through the site, which is useful if you aren't aware of what is free. And then probably the one that you're going to use the most out of the quick links will be software activations. We do have a video already for software activations that you can find on the channel. But just be aware that that link is there if you have, if you want to activate or get any new activations, rehost activations. You can do this through Activation Manager as well with an internet connection. A lot of times if the computer that you're using doesn't have an internet connection, you would have to come back to one where you do have an internet connection and then do everything through the website. But just be aware, if you wanted to get new activations through the website, you can go and enter your serial number and your product key. It's going to ask you a couple more items, and then it'll give you the activation that you can put onto the the PC that you need it. So again, there are some other links here. These aren't ones that we get asked about as often, so there's not a ton of time to cover every link. It would just be a very long video, but that should at least get you started with navigating the PCDC. And then as you're using it, if you're having trouble finding anything, or if there's any other links here that you have a question about, always just contact your local distributor rep, your account manager, or your IA solutions consultant, and we can definitely get in touch and help you, with more specifically with the issues that you're having or whatever you're looking for. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below and view all past and future videos on youtube.com. Just search CED Mosebach Electric Supply or go to our website, www.mosebach.com/media.